Welcome to Boxing in Your Face. Well, this week we'll talk a little bit about my past as I started as a referee back in the amateur days, back in New York with the Police Athletic League. And that was a lot of fun. You know, a lot of people would say, Joe, you've been around for a long time. Yes, I've been around for 34 good years as a referee. And boxing has its peaks and valleys. There's great fights throughout the years. And they die down for a while, it comes back and forth. But the reason why I want to talk a little bit today about the past is because I want to try to give a little bit more insight of being a referee. What does it take to be a referee? And some of you fans out there love boxing and you get involved with boxing to a certain level where you have favorite fighters and you're really good fans, and boxing needs fans. If the boxing didn't have any fans, boxing would be completely dead. And people are thinking that boxing is kind of dead right now, but if you look at the most recent fights, they have a lot of viewers, millions of viewers around the world watching some of the bigger fights. And of course, yeah, we don't have the heavyweights here in the United States. We don't have the Leonards, the Durans, the Haglers, whatnot. But going back to those days when I started refereeing, when you had a late Alexis Arguello, and you had Roberto Duran, you had Boom Boom Mancini, Muhammad Ali, Marvin Hagler. You had some of the great ones out there, and it was a lot of fun, a lot of attention towards boxing. And as a referee, I can tell you that starting out as an amateur was a great opportunity for me. I really enjoyed working the amateurs. I recommend officials who want to get started, the best place for them to get started is working in the Police Athletic League, the local amateur Golden Glove fights. That's where you're going to learn your basics. And it's important that you learn your basics because we all learn to follow the rules and to have concentration, good concentration, and by the same token, keep yourself mentally and physically fit for these fights. Now, I remember one night that I started refereeing, I came into the gym and the gentleman, Johnny Defoe, who was the director of the Police Athletic League program in New York City, told me, Joe, just come in with some white slacks and some white sneakers and I'll give you a PAL t-shirt. And to me that was a great opportunity for me. It was like a dream come true. I never thought I'm going to be refereeing on the amateur level. Well, these were not Golden Glove fights, they were just regular AAU fights. And it was fun because I was getting myself set to go to another level, not realizing that in a short period of time I'll be working the professional fights. Well, I told referees today that it's mandatory that you learn your basics by doing at least 3 years in the amateurs, 3 to 5 years. And the reason why I say that is because most referees who are in boxing have never really had an extensive, long boxing career under their belt. And the thing about me, when I came into the amateur ranks, I was already a 6-time Golden Glove champion. It was New York Open, New York Novice. Well, let's start first. New York Novice, New York Open, the Eastern Golden Glove Championships, the National Golden Glove Championship, and 2 Spanish Golden Glove Championships. And I would say national, I'll say it was New York versus Chicago. Back in those days, they called that the National Championships. And it was not the National AAU Championship. But it was a great tournament, winning those 6 Golden Glove Championships. That taught me a lot of discipline and let me get a good feel for the ring, learning my ring mechanics, my ring movement. And that really, truly helped me a lot when I started out as an amateur referee. And that's when Pat Masher, who was my mentor starting out, because it was Pat Masher who planted the seed in my head about becoming a referee. I was managing a hotel down in Puerto Rico, and Pat Masher and I, we ran into each other at the hotel, and Pat Masher said, Joe, you know, when you come up to New York, please give me a call. Well, little did I know that same year, December of 1976, I was moving back to New York to work with the same corporation, the El Salvador Hotel Corporation, out of our New York office, where I was casino operations manager for the hotels in Puerto Rico. So it was a lot of fun going back to New York after spending 8 years in Puerto Rico. Prior to that, I lived in New York all my life. So Pat Masher was the one who planted the seed. He's the one that got me started with the Police Athletic League with Johnny Defoe. And then 6 months later, after doing the Golden Glove tournaments, I was called in by the New York State Athletic Commission to come in and be one of their officials. Well, little did I know that in such a short period of time, I'll be officiating professional fights. And they put me on every single show they had, the whole year. Every fight they had, every show, I was on it. So they moved me pretty rapid, and it was good for me. I learned a lot. And 5 years after becoming a professional referee, I did my first world title fight. That was Aaron Pryor against Miguel Montilla. But anyway, to make a long story short, it's been a good 34 years. You referees out there that want to learn the sport, please go to the website, boxinginyourface.com, or go to my fairbutfirm.com website, where I also have some video clips. You can see about 15 different seminars in fairbutfirm.com, and you can learn a little bit about the basics, how you get started on becoming a referee. Anyway, I don't want to drag on too much today about the refereeing part. All I can tell you guys is help one another. Colleagues out there, get together with one another, help each other out. Always try to have a buddy system where you can have another friend who's in the business that can help you, guide you through, and guide you in the right direction. With that said, guys, take care. God bless. See you next week.